Christine and Cris, thank you so much for being here today for an interview about the NC State Extension Master Gardener Volunteer Program. Could you tell me a little bit about the program and how long have you been involved with Healing Transitions?
Well, we broke ground on the gardens in 2014, so we've been 10 years here, and Cris and I have both been coming about 9-10 years. And the Raleigh Regional Association of Realtors is who designed the garden and funded it, and then they just needed our expertise on gardening.
Great. What initially inspired the partnership?
What inspired with the Master Gardeners?
Yeah.
Probably our agent at the time heard about it and made the connection, because it really is a natural for a weekly visit of volunteers. It's just a great fit for our program, because our objective is teaching, getting out in the community and teaching about gardening.
Great. Could you describe how you engage with the participants during your visits, and what does a typical hands-on session look like?
So we come every Monday from 10 to 11, so we only spend 1 hour a week in the garden, but we have about we usually have 2 scarecrows and 1 green thumb, and they meet with us and tell us if they have any questions, and we just work side by side for that 1 hour, but we give them the chores for the week, and they take excellent care of the garden.
Great. What specific skills or knowledge do the participants gain from gardening activities? And can you talk a little bit about the connection between the gardens and how participants use the vegetables in the kitchen and how that kind of coincides together?
Well, some of the volunteers that we have an opportunity to work with know about gardening, and that's always fun because we get to interact about that. But sometimes they have never been in the garden, and so we're starting from scratch, and so we field a lot of questions and break it down to what we're doing from week to week. And they typically, the scarecrows work in the kitchen, so they're involved with a lot of food prep, and so it's kind of a natural fit in that respect. And they actually benefit because they get to even try things they haven't tried before. I mean, they're guys who've never eaten radishes, or they've never had cilantro, or we have a pomegranate tree, and they'll try things for the first time, and so they benefit kind of from being on the hands-on in the garden.
Yeah, they're learning a lot of valuable things. In your experience, what role does nature or gardening play in fostering mental and emotional well-being, especially for people in recovery?
It's just a natural fit, like Cris said earlier. We fall under the umbrella of therapeutic horticulture. That's what we call this program in our program. And just even weeding is therapeutic. Watering, standing out there for an hour in the summer, you have time to think. Seeing something grow from a seed into a bit, that guys are amazed at that.
Yeah.
So it's great. And the beauty, the flowers.
Yeah. And I'm sure it makes them feel like, they're out there learning something new, and then when they see something growing, it's like, well, that's my work, and that's something I'm doing.
Definitely,
So,
definitely.
Are there any success stories or positive experiences from a time working with the HT community?
Every week.
We're just talking about this, and it's every time somebody comes up, and one of your participants comes up and compliments or asks us a question. It's just so interesting because it's usually positive, and they're enjoying. The point being that it's active and passive. It's for the people who are working in the gardens, but it's also for the ones who are just walking through it.
Right.
So the benefits are there because it's beautiful, and it's changing, and it's growing, and it's so conducive to what's happening here on your campus.
How do the participants respond to the gardening activities, or are there any unexpected reactions?
Some of them are very excited to have the job, and some are a little hesitant. And I would say all of them are excited by the time their turn is over and they're leaving that role. They'd like to stay. They all seem to develop a love for it. Yeah. And then trying the new food. That's fun.
That would be my favorite too. Are you involved with other community or therapeutic gardening programs outside of Healing Transitions?
So I'm not, but Cris is.
But our organization is.
Oh,
Right.
We have like 10 to 12, I think, therapeutic horticulture sites. I am involved. There's a recovery high school in Raleigh, and we do a garden core club with them at the food bank.
Oh, cool.
And then we also are in a lot of assisted livings, and I do garden with them.
Great.
Yeah.
What are some of the most rewarding aspects of your involvement with HT, both personally and professionally?
Well, I would remiss not to mention that the fun it is to come here and to work with these other master gardeners. It's a congenial group. We have a great team, and I learned so much from them about gardening personally.
Yeah.
And so that's important because we're as volunteers, you know, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be fun, but it's also just the overall sharing of something I enjoy, and the love of gardening, and meeting your participants where they are in gardening and where their interests are. And we get all kinds of questions from the places they've come from, where they've lived, and but it's just a shared a love and
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah, well, they love you guys coming out here, and they really look forward to it.
Thank you.
Looking ahead, what opportunities do you see for expanding or improving the gardening program at Healing Transitions, or are there any things that you would like to work more with the participants at either campus?
Well, we're going to have a lot of changes at the women's campus because the entire courtyard's going to be redone. I think that's going to give us an opportunity to show more small-scale gardening, which I think is really good because most people, when they move out, they have a patio or a porch. They don't have a whole big garden like we have out here. And I would say at both sites, our work days are such a success, and we only have about 2 or 3 a year. Maybe we could have a few more of those if we have projects to do, because everybody loves those.
Yeah.
But we're willing to be flexible in the timing, and we're open to ideas that that Healing Transitions has that might propose to us as well. So
Well, thank you both so much. We really appreciate all the hard work that you do tending to our garden and all the great impacts you make on our participants. So
Thank you.
thank
Thank
you.
you.